Need to see
what I can see.
Right, I think we're a go. We might be a go.
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 Yes, we're a go. I believe we're a go.
No, that's Murray Walker. No, that's me. Hello. I can hear myself now. Yeah.
Right, welcome to ILR2 in the Inside Line Racing Leagues. We are here for round 14 in the Singapore Grand Prix. I am joined by my fellow commentator, Evil. Say hello.
Hello. I'm not being the one who's shouting today. I have no, I'm not the one shouting today. I've gone on strike shouting. I haven't, but I'm letting my good fellow commentator commentate this time.
Oh joy!
So I don't break my voice again.
Right, let's find someone who's about to go on a lap rather than already on their lap.
Well, coming through the last few corners, Flexi is. He's going under the bridge. I can't remember what any of the corner names are on this circuit.
I can't remember the corners either. All I know is there's 21 corners in this entire circuit. Right, he's about to start his lap. There we are. We're all going to be on board with Flexi, as we always are, for ILR2 it seems. Going into turn 1, 2, and I believe it's turn 1, 2, and 3. Right behind the Ferrari of Ritson there. Sector 1 has a yellow flag, presumably because of Ritson. What would you expect pole to be today in Singapore?
Well, normally I'd imagine a 136 or 7 could be possible, but knowing my luck, they won't be.
Yeah, I think...
Good news, I've got the corner names.
You got the corner names?
I'm trying to get the corner names. The picture won't load.
Ah, okay. Well, going towards the Singapore sling now on board with the Renault of Flexi. Yellow flag, sector 2, 3 split. Don't know who that would be. Going under the Anderson Bridge now towards the hairpin. Keeping it nice and tight, Flexi at the moment. Doesn't sound wrong at all. On towards the probably second longest straight actually in Singapore. In sector 3 now. This part, do you need a higher bit of downforce for this sector?
There's one of the Mercedes off the circuit as they come through towards 18, 19, 20 and 21. There's 23 corner track.
It's 23?
Apparently.
I thought that was 21.
It's 23. No, it's 23.
As George appears out of nowhere and holds up the Renault of Flexi. Held up, I do believe, one of the...
Quite a lot. Runs very in the wall. Hang off!
That he would have got pole. He had a time for pole if he didn't get a disallowed lap and get stuck behind the Williams of George.
And that is one angry puppy dog. Now on board with Corder as he comes down into turn number 1. Then 1, 2, 3. Still go. And then of course there's beautiful circuit then. Down Raffles Boulevard. Behind him, one of the Saubers. Behind, now coming down into the Boulevard section there, under the little kind of overhanging bridge there. Then down into Nicole Highway. That's literally what it says. Yeah. And then Stamford Road. Stamford Road and then St Andrews Road.
You're just naming. You're just saying all the roads now rather than the actual corners.
These are literally what it's called. There's 10, 11, and 12. Then it's Anderson Bridge. This one I can't even pronounce. This is just turn number 13. This thing is called Esplande Drive. Something like that. So we're just not going to look at the corner names because there isn't any apart from, well, the boulevard. That's not a corner, that's a straight. So, lies.
No, you are right. That is some weird corner names. As we're still on board with Corey, as Lowerblade did put a pole lap time of a 1:37.8 at the moment. 37.
Runs a bit wide there, gets a bit of a twitch on the exit, coming through the last 2, 3 corners then. Down into 23. Gets a car to start out perfect. That crosses the line. Goes 4th position there. Now, who is going to be improving? Billy, that's who's going to improve. P1, 37.8 in the McLaren Honda. Well, we saw just like real life, Honda doing well. It was flying in the race, literally. Now, who else going to improve? No, I don't know. Now there's it. And we've got to do our little shout out, don't we, as well, whilst we're here?
Yes, sponsorship of Fade Grips, 15% off if you use the code ILR League. Fade Grips, very good grips, and I actually have no idea how to do the sponsorship because I'm not very good at the sponsors, I'm afraid.
Oh, you bottled that one.
I bottled it worse than I'm probably bottling ILR3, shut up. But yeah, on pole, Billy, second place, Lyra Blades rounding out the front row anyway. 35 thousandths between the top two here in Singapore.
A big shout out to 5th position, who was literally 500 thousandths off the lead. Well, not 500 thousandths, 5/10.
Well, no, 500 thousandths is right as well.
Yeah, all that. Oh my god,
that frame rate. I wasn't the one who see that, did I?
Oh my god.
That frame rate was a horrible. Oh my word.
I know they're trying to get rid of the F1 logo. They really want you not to look at it now.
But who is your? Who do you think could win this race today? If they can have a nice,
I'm going to say
clear
Lewis
race.
Hamilton from absolute nowhere. Going to put that out there.
Well,
right.
We're looking at the garages at the moment. Lewis Hamilton's name is on the Mercedes board, replaced by Ginger Andy.
Oh, it's Valtteri Bottas to me. Yeah, Valtteri Bottas is in the other one. So yeah, just about as good. Scott and a Finnish driver. So that sounds very McLaren, to be honest. Now, here we are then. Go to the grid for the great race here, and it's going to be interesting to see. No rain as of yet, but rain apparently forecast for this race. Now this is going to be crucial to see. McLaren, Haas, McLaren. Then we've got Williams, Force India, Ferrari, then the Red Bull, then the Renault, then coming up the Toro Rosso, following by the Force India, then the Saubers, then the other Red Bull quite far down the field there, followed by the other Haas who's having a dreadful time, then the Sauber, then right down in the back seems to be the Mercedes and the Ferrari and the Williams, and right down at the back it is the Force India, the Toro Rosso, don't know how that's a Force India, and the Renault. So Jolyon Palmer, everybody, in last place.
It looks to be that a lot of people are opting to go on the one set tyre until the until the rain, as Ginger Andy and Ritson are both disqualified. Shouldn't be contact between both of them. But it looks to be Flexi, King MJJ, Ritson and Nicolo all going on the slowest compound tyre, looking to go as long as they can on them until the inters are required in the race. Supersoft runners have a task on their hands of George, Ginger Andy, Carl, It's Me, Luke, EFC Matthew and Matt, all on the Supersoft tyres. They're looking to make the most of them early on, and as those tyres will definitely be degraded massively when it comes to the inters period. And the Ultrasoft tyres all probably going to have to pit again before the inter period comes out. So would the top 10 actually been worth it for many of them? It is all entirely dependable on if they can make their tyres work.
Indeed, well, the leader pulls up to the grid there. We've got 4 cars already been disqualified from the formation. That Matthew, Paul, Andy and Ritson, all been naughty boys coming through the last corner. The other 2 cars, that is the Haas and the McLaren, second and third. Then following behind, you've got the likes of the Williams, Force Indias, Ferrari, Red Bull. Then we've got the Renaults. It's going to be interesting to see. And now we did look up what go in this beautiful language of Singapore is. It doesn't exist, so it's just go. So yeah, so let's get the default evil now. It's not going to be Meggy. I refuse to say the one with the S. But now, as we go to 5 red lights in a few moments. 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix And it is, lights out, and away we go, and a good start from the second row. Further down the back of the Williams taking a good start. And round the outside, one of the Force Indias at the back. Contact, and round there's a chance, and off is one of the Williams. And Khan has already got bunching up in the middle of the pack. It's all gone horribly wrong in the middle for the Williams, and it's all going shambles for everyone else. But up front, it's going so far so good for Billy and Leo. Causer up into third place in that Force India. Great start from him, then jumping on the outside like Alonso was. A bit of lag there. Pulling behind, we've got the lighter, the McLaren dropping down. We've got the Renault, then down the inside, going on to the Ferraris. That is a Forest. And that Red Bull, Matt still hunting down the inside and going back down the inside. He's not having any of that, puts him wide. Now coming down is one of the Force Indias. Force India doing a storming start here then.
Yes, Scott did make a move on Matt, but Matt managed to get the move back on him, and Paul's managed to gain from that entire battle. Definitely seems at the moment the Williams not having the best of starts. Both the Mata and George down in 14th and 17th respectively. The Mata, a bit of lag between the first Force India of Corey. Did tap him into turn 2, I did see. So a bit of controversy there between the old stock runners, but indeed a bit of lag, a bit of desync due to the disconnection of Billy in qualifying. Safe to say that could be a major issue here in Singapore.
It could definitely be. Meanwhile, just looking at the Williams of, I believe that was the Mata. So he just make a move right around the outside and already of the Renault. Now the other Williams are already hunting down. So Williams on a move now down the back from the background. The Ferrari's running extremely wide. As up front, we've got the likes of like a Mercedes and a Sauber having a bit of an issue there. That's Andy and Nicolo going side by side as they come towards the boulevard. As they go down here, now DRS not activated yet as they almost touch wheels and Andy through then eventually. Now look out for that Williams though, it's slippery in a straight line as he comes down the straight, down to the inside, into boulevard and almost makes contact there as they go under the bridge. Now, side by side, almost touching wheel to wheel stuff. I can't make it through yet.
If you
didn't pulls up out.
If you didn't see on the at the exit of the turn 4, I believe Nicolo lost part of his front wing, hitting the back of Ginger Andy. The debris did roll off on the track.
Indeed, some issues there. Meanwhile, you've got the lights of Flex. He having a bit goes, a bit more debris there. So someone else has lost a bit of their front wing. As seems to be struggling as that Mercedes, as more debris gets chucked up. I believe that came from either the Williams or that Sauber. It definitely came from the Sauber. And causes rejoined. Round the outside goes the Renault. Now down the inside goes the Williams. And it almost makes a move. And they make contact. Oof. And in the wall. George in the wall. Lucky gets away with that one.
No damage to the Williams.
Indeed, Nicolo being a bit careless there, and Richardson gets a penalty. Billy down to third place. Something's happened to your leader. He's dropping positions. Is there a problem there? He's in the pit there in the McLaren. Half a front wing, almost no front wing. Now that's a big issue and a penalty as well. It's all gone from bad to worse for the McLaren driver. As running side by side, there is still battling. Is that Williams in the Haas and the Sauber? In also comes Ritson.
Just watching the battle between the Red Bull of It's Me and the other Sauber of Lukey Luke. Definitely a bit of hit and go between both of them, just tapping one another.
Down the inside goes that car and gets her position done, I think, or defends it at least.
It's Me was probably... Oh, there we go. There was the chuck of rain already on lap 3. The chuck of rain going over the screen. It is already raining here in Singapore. It could be a long old Grand Prix if that rain settles anytime soon.
Yep, the rain indeed already starting to come down. It's quite heavy actually. You can see a bit of spray already been kicked up there as they come through the old Singapore sling. I thought I saw a bit of spray. Now, let's see how long it take. I know from experience that the rain can be very interesting. Sometimes it will come down in a heap. Sometimes it will just be sprinkling just enough for to make problems, but not enough to cause intermediate conditions. It's going to be interesting to see what this Singapore weather can bring up for this race. Meanwhile, Force India down the back of 17th Corsa is King. He's having a little look down the inside, coming into that little area. That's a bit of a nice dive. Gets the position done and through.
Yeah, Corey definitely needing to pick himself up after a disconnection. Him being so far back, he would not like to finish here as well. Definitely got the pace, starting in 5th. Falling down due to that disconnection will definitely hinder his end result regardless. As one of the Williams of George making the move on the Salvador Nicolo down into turn 1, managing to make the move on the faster tyres after being hit by him a couple of laps ago. So definitely deserves to get past him, as in sector 1 there's a yellow flag.
Course has gone again. Great battle going on for 4th, 5th and 6th by the way, and 7th to be honest. They're having a bit of a scrap here. Also brought by very much, well, not a lot to be honest. The rain you can starting to see really coming down now. Even on the TV screens you can see it's starting a bit foggy. Nicolo gets a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings, so that's not good for him. Now as we see, we're on lap number 4. Leader, Blade, Joker, Wommel, Matt, Paul, Forrest, Matthew, it's me, Lukey, Ginger, Andy, Matt, Flexi, George, Nicolo, Carl, King, Corsa, Billy and Ritson. And the Ferrari tapping the rear of Paul there I saw.
Definitely need the battle to heat up. Definitely before the rain, they'll all want to get past one another before the interstage. Definitely make use of them ultra softs as they can. As the Red Bull of Matt being on the super softs, he's definitely holding them all up, and they'll want to get past him to try and make the most of the dry period. As that raid isn't going to feel nice.
It's going to make a bit of an issue there for It's Me then, because the Red Bulls will stack in the pit lane if the time comes. Now, who is he going to be to go straight on those intermediate tyres? I don't think for another about 3 to 4 laps he'll be ready to go to those tyres. But nonetheless, the reverie is starting to come down. The rain pouring here in the darkness. There's a bit of a mistake there for Matthew there, running a bit wide into turn number 1. This is going to put under pressure from the likes of Lukey and It's Me, who's doing well. The Matt gets a penalty as well. So that isn't good for him. That must be a corner cut there. He's got a bit of damage on the front wing. So that's not going to help him. Yeah,
Williams, not exactly having the best of fortunes here in Singapore. They are slowly making up positions. Definitely since Billy, Ritson and Corey having issues. But them
I'm talking
getting all
about
the
Ritson.
penalties,
There he is, getting a penalty.
Them getting penalties would not do well, and in a circuit where everyone, in a tier where every driver is very close to one another in terms of pace, and just the cars in general being so close to one another, getting a penalty could prove fatal to your final position. Indeed,
it could be battle slightly building up between first, second, and third. They're very close together here now. About 6 attempts between second and third, and 8 attempts are all separated just under 1.5 seconds, or just over it, should I say. So very close stuff between these drivers. They're very close and very competitive. And safety 2 and 3 yellow flags. Now, who is that for? I believe that is for Ginger Andy, and yes, off goes Andy, where Michael Schumacher went in 2012, doing exactly the same thing, though he's managed to get away with it. No damage, it seems, on that Mercedes. It squirms away in those wet conditions. Now, I'd imagine he might go for the intermediate tyres now. Perhaps as running wide goes Leo, the Joker, they're following is the Renault up front.
Indeed, it's just, I think Ginger Andy, he definitely must have misjudged the braking and just slid on down into the escape road.
In comes the Matt, by the way. Now that might be for a new front wing. We'll find out. He's just the first stop so far. Now is he going for those intermediate tyres for an alternate strategy? We come in and see. Is those intermediates I see? They are. He's going for a ballsy strategy now. Now this is going to be crucial for the others to see if he starts gaining time. Now this is going to be crucial, isn't it?
Indeed it is. If he can make this this early pit stop work, well, he's kind of been forced into this strategy, really, if you think about it. To get a broken wing, he has had to come in regardless, and so he's just putting himself on that alternate strategy, just seeing if he can make it work, and because he could gain a lot of time if he can make that work. And if he can't make it work, he already had a broken front wing. He's already going to be losing time if he stayed out.
Sorry to interrupt you here. We've got absolute carnage going on over the Anderson Bridge here. As you've got 4, 5, 6 cars all separated by 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 cars separated by just over about 1.5 seconds, by the way. It's very close. And Wommel, by the way, on the back of the Joker. So all things going on around here right now.
Yeah, a lot of battles, actually. I didn't think that many battles would actually happen here in Singapore. It's kind of a track where you've got to make a very late-breaking move to do anything here. Though EFC Matthews right behind Scott, who's also right behind Paul. And it's the Paul McGee train is back. Definitely trying to hold everyone
Indeed.
up.
You can see, I think he's got a bit of damage on the front wing. Yes, he has. I think lost part of his end plate there on the left-hand side, we believe. It looks a bit like it's come off. And out to the outside goes the Ferrari. And is he going to try around the outside? He'll think of it. I don't think very brave there. He'll get squeezed off now to the inside. And he's going to be defended well there. And now look out for the Toro Rosso, putting his nose in. To the outside he goes. Now where's he going to make a move? He's going to try right around the outside as they come towards the boulevard then. Round the outside, what a move from that car. Matthew, beautiful move. Now he's going to be challenged straight away. Is he going back to the outside, squeezing him right up to the wall. As now to the outside. Now he's going to try all the way around. As off goes on to the Saubers in the background. And does he make a move? Now down the inside is that Ferrari, still side by side. But finally, Matthew punches a hole through and gets the initiate.
Bravo, making that move around the outside and then managing to hold it even in the two wide battle here in Singapore, and still keeping pace behind Paul. That was definitely surprising, managing to keep up with a car who's driving by himself as they all go wiggle straight down and through the Anderson Bridge. All of them pretty much lucky not to come with any damage.
And I can tell you, it's very easy to hit that wall coming off the Anderson Bridge.
EFC Matthew tried to go around the outside and has broken his front wing.
That's the last pit. And watch out for it. It's me almost hitting the back of the Ferrari. And all carnage going on here. I'd said it'd be easy to get damage and lose front wings. It's definitely happened. And problems here for Matt as well. He's dropping behind Wommel, and Wommel heads to the pit lane.
It looks to be the
Billy
Renault.
gets a penalty as well, so Wommel in. Now, is this going to be for the intermediate tyres? We believe so. As Lukey's got all sorts of problems here. Look at this! Side-by-side stuff here. 3, 4 wide as they cross the start line. And Williams contact and round!
Oh no.
Oh!
That wasn't good. Not at all. Flexi goes around the outside of George and he just doesn't brake quick enough and just goes straight into him. That's unfortunate for the Williams, and then Luke also getting damage.
Ferrari and Force India and Red Bull 3 wide. And to the outside, that Red Bull, Ferrari, Force India. Look at this, scrapping. And round the outside, does he make the move? No, getting punted right up against the wall is Forrest, and it's me now going down the inside. This is exactly the last thing that Ferrari wanted to see. And then down the inside goes the Red Bull as Matt gets a penalty. Now, that Ferrari's going to have to make another think where he's going to make a move. The rain's starting to pour down here in Singapore. And Paul goes off the road. So definite conditions now. The rain is pouring. It's starting to pour now. They'll have to all pit. They'll surely have to all pit now. The rain conditions are getting worse and worse by the second.
Just watched the map make a move round the outside onto the inside on the Joker.
And off in the wall has got EFC Matthews straight on then. Just like Danica Viat down a different corner, going straight on, locking those tyres up. And a penalty for Ginger Andy as well for multiple warnings. So all kinds of issues going on here in the Singapore Grand Prix.
Indeed.
And off has gone the Matt as well. I think someone's gone straight off. It looks like one of the Williams.
And he's retired.
Yes, the Matt.
Both the McLaren of the Joker and the Ferrari of Scott coming in, and the Sauber of Nicolo, though he has kind of been forced into it due to the broken front wing.
They'll all be coming in. They'll all be coming in now. Now, this is going to be crucial for that Ferrari.
With all the retirements happening and all the broken front wings and late braking, It definitely seems to be Inter's conditions, though DRS hasn't been disabled yet. So that still hasn't told us that the Inters are in the perfect condition to come out.
Just joined as Carl trying around the outside of Paul McGuinness here. Doesn't do it yet, but he's definitely closing up on those super softs. Seem to be working better than the ultra softs right now. As they're saying that, look at this, as the Williams now hunting down and trying to the outside. Doesn't do it yet, but very close up. Look at this wheel-to-wheel racing here in the floodlights of Singapore, and this is the best thing you'll ever see here around the circuit, just like the real-life Singapore Grand Prix. Amidst less crashes on the first corner, it's going well so far.
With all this is probably the most action we'll get from Tier 2 in a while, as Ritson has retired.
He's just retired. He's pulled that car off. Not damaged the front left ring, but he just pulled it off. As now, look out for the Haas to the outside and making a move on Paul, and does do the move finally. Paul can't do anything yet. Tries to keep his nose in, and there's contact, and round he goes. No. That's into the Williams, and that's all gone horribly wrong.
Oh, and to think I thought Paul would actually save that. That would have been an awesome drift. He could have just kept it away from the Williams. Ah. A heartbreak for Paul. George surprisingly come out with no damage. Again, the Williams is counting his lucky start.
Indestructible, though. I think in the pit lane, in comes that is Billy. Wants to be careful not to hit that wall. Just about to avoid it there. I believe Paul also in the pit lane. Knows that will be for the car. The Joker's joined again, so don't know when he left, but he's joined back. As Leo Blade still on the ultra soft tyres, by the way, doing a good job sliding in these conditions.
This definitely seems to be Leo Blade's track at the moment. Getting pole, he got second, didn't he? Billy got pole, Leo Blade got second, but Leo Blade's definitely shown pace here in Singapore. The Haas coming into his own at the moment, though Matt is slowly catching him. The yellow flag is set to 1, most likely an Inter's car going off.
Not coming up anywhere about yellow flags for some reason, so I don't know who has gone off. It's someone's, I think it's the Joker disconnecting, actually. Billy gets a time penalty, by the way, so struggles for him, but so far going well. Ish.
With all the collisions, definitely all the collisions are showing that it's definitely Tier 2 we're watching. Even though there's a lot of battles and the people are very quick, but obviously Tier 2 notorious for the amount of incidents which happen. As there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, split onto 3 as Ginger Randy has gone into the wall. Oh, he spun it on the recovery. Oh, that's he almost.
It's gone shambles for the Scots. First we have Paul, now we have Andy. One will get to penalty as well. And off, I believe, has gone Carl. He just got away with it. He seems to have gone off and got away with it. But issues there for everyone.
Yeah, I'm surprised that so many cars are still out.
Off goes Billy! Off goes Billy! Out of the race!
Ooh. Actually, never mind, I'll retract my previous statement. The drives seem to be working better than the Inters. He's lost grip going into the Anderson Bridge. Comes out and he smashed it just a bit further than Marcus Ericsson did, I believe, in the real-life Grand Prix in Singapore.
That's a very big... I've turned into Murray Walker, I just figured out there.
Billy leaves the session, probably angry at himself.
Heads down.
Got pole position and crashes out in the wet.
In comes Ginger Randy. That'll be for the intermediate tyres, we believe.
He has come on to
the Inters. Those are the Inters. It is. Now he's going to come just behind the Renault of Wommel. Just ahead, well, miles ahead of Paul, who's going absolutely sideways through the last corner, by the way. A beautiful reaction there, and just about keeps it away. So McLaren, from doing so well, first and third, right down the back of the field right now. Shambles for them, but glory for Haas right now. And Red Bull, I suppose.
Red Bull always.
Oh, so never mind about Haas, and off goes the Haas of Carl.
Oh, dearie me. Commentators curse much. Saying how good it has been for Haas, and There we go. There's a woe. There's a woe for us. Carl Med's in the wall. Oh,
He's going off into the wall again, isn't he?
almost got
Just
into the
about
wall.
gets away.
Keeping it
Well,
out.
meanwhile, Leo's still doing well up front, just ahead of the Red Bulls, who are both on the super soft tyres, so are going to have more grip. And you can clearly see Leo's struggling here, because look at that Red Bull closing up.
It definitely seems like the harder tyres are definitely getting much more grip. Leo Blade, the only ultra soft runner still out there with little issues. As a yellow flag in sector 2. I can't
no
tell
idea
who that is.
No idea.
We'll go
That
back
is,
onto the battle for
say.
the lead.
It's about 1.3 seconds. Was about 4 a few laps ago. It's closing up dramatically now as the rain continues to pour here in Singapore. Next 2 and 3 yellow flags. Now, who's that for? We believe that is for Nicola, who's gone off the road, and off has gone Ginger Andy again. Hasn't hit the wall this time, but struggling is the Mercedes. And you can see, look how close Matt has got to the lead already of this race. Right up his chuff. Yeah. And I think he's going to make a move, you know. He is, he's closing dramatically. And the Red Bull for the lead, down the inside. Does he make the move? Banging tyres to the outside. He'll go now, he'll cut to the inside. And now he's going to have to do it all then. Down the inside. Does he make the move? Haas is going to fight. Doesn't do it yet. It's going to be a matter of just waiting. Now he'll go down the inside. Always make contact there. And in the wall goes the Haas. So like I said, it was going well. It's getting from bad to worse as soon as I said it. And that is damage on the front wing of the Haas, we believe. Yes, he's lost part of the end plate. DRS disabled. Now it's time for those intermediate conditions. And in comes Matt. In comes Leo. It's me comes in. Flexi comes in. Lukey will presume will come in as well. Now this hasn't worked for Red Bull. This is the last thing Red Bull wanted. They're going to have to double stack. That's not going to help them. It just about gets away of blocking the pit lane. New front wing for Matt. This might mean Leo Blade may take the lead of this race again. Yes, he does. Back into the lead goes Leo Blade. Now the Renault's going to take up into second position of Flexi. Then Matt. Then it's Lukey. It's me getting a long stop.
Double stacking for Red Bull definitely seems to have hindered what could have been a very, very good podium, but that Renault sneaking in front of both Red Bulls as well definitely seems to get the better pit stop of all of them. I do apologise, Evil, for leaving you suddenly. I am back. I do apologise, though. I managed to leave it on the battle, though.
Interesting. Ginger Andy is well, he's in the wall again. He's on the ultra soft, so I don't know exactly what he's up to there, but fair play to the Scotsman. He's normally one to be driving in the bad conditions. I mean, he is in Scotland. It is pretty miserable up there. Gonna have to say it's normally quite wet, but he's going to go in that wall, I think. Oh.
He's keeping it out. He's definitely keeping it out.
Oh, he's got to just slow that car down. He's going to have a humongous accident if he doesn't.
I reckon he knows something that we don't. It is definitely going to dry up, obviously.
Well, he's lost up. Well, he's 48 seconds behind the leader, so whatever he's doing, it's not worked.
No, it hasn't. So far, the closest battle on track is Flexi behind the leader of Leo Blade, who is actually coming up to a lapped ghost car of, I do believe that is the Joker.
Joker, and there is Andy just ahead of him. He's just gone off the road. So, definite struggles for Ginger Andy.
But that Renault has climbed straight back towards that Haas. Definitely showing his pace that he had in quali, but unfortunately got ruined by the McLaren and the Williams, as Evil has left. Are you presumably to go to AOR?
I am now. I am not going to do AOR, so I'll leave you to it in those conditions. Been a good race. I'll be good to watch it back. I'll see you later.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Good luck. As Wame, I've just seen on the thing, is battling it out with Nicola, and I think he's managed to get past the Sauber, who hasn't got a fixed front wing. That seems to be disappointing for the Sauber anyway. But the Renaults are slowly making a charge back. Oh, as Nicolo goes into the wall where Bruno Senna went into, loses the entirety of his front wing, and the Sauber is definitely going to have to change that front wing. As much as he'd like to try and not do that, he has to come in now. He has to come in for another set of inters. He has to come in to change his wing. You can't avoid the wing change, Nicolo. You just can't seem to avoid it. In comes the Sauber. Though, as we'll last on with it, Flexi, he has kind of lost a bit of time to the Haas of Leo Blade, since Leo Blade must have felt the threat, and definitely it's time to turn up the engine and go on against, as Nicolo goes into the wet tyres and retires his car as well. But the map has got right onto the back of the Renault. He's just dropped off massively. Must have made a mistake into Anderson Bridge, trying to go around the outside on the inters. Now on the Renault, just trying to see if he can make a move. As the Renault, I can't see if he has a broken front wing. He does. He must have gone into the wall, and the charge for the Renault has just been hindered massively by that. Though the Red Bull now of match, trying to make a move into the last sector on the Renault, but holding back. Obviously, he knows that making a move would be a death wish here in the last sector, and he'd rather hold back and just wait for the Renault to pit beforehand. Definitely seems to be the smarter strategy, though, as the Renault is blocking him as much as he can, though. Definitely trying to help Leo Blade more than anything. He doesn't particularly want Matt to catch him on in the drivers. You can understand why he'd attempt to block him. But that's definitely given Leo Blade the lead, which he kind of needs to, if he gets any penalties anyway. But to see where the Renault of Flexi will come out, could be, no, he'd definitely be behind King MJ. Possibly in front of Scott in the Ferrari, but definitely seems to be dropping down to 6th regardless. So, as soon as Flexi comes out the pits, we'll do a standings of who is where at the moment in this Grand Prix. He could possibly get a battle out of Scott. As Scott's about to come around the first corner now. Flexi comes out of the pits side by side into turn 3. Slight contact between the two drivers, and Flexi's going to try and keep 6th position off of the Ferrari of Scott. Managed to keep in front of him, though, with a little bit of a tangle coming out the pits. And it's safe to say that this could become an interesting battle if Scott can keep the pace up with the Renault at this moment in time. So, your current race standings at the moment, as it goes on track: Leo Blade in the Haas, followed by Matt in the Red Bull. The other Red Bull, it's me, go for Anderson Bridge, almost hitting that wall in 3rd. Lukey Luke in the Sauber for 4th. A great drive at the moment for the Sauber, even though he did have a hindrance with one of the Williams earlier on. King MJ in 5th as Jas joins the party. Hello, Jack. King MJ in 5th.
Good to be here.
Good to have you here as well. Flexi in 6th, Scott in 7th, George in 8th, Cole in 9th, and 10th is Wame, rounding out the points paying positions with Paul, Joker, Corey, and Andy, who's just come out of the pits, rounding out the remaining races. How are you today, Jack?
Yeah, not too bad. Busy day. Just catching up around the action. There's a few DNFs. Dry to wet race, and also looks like it's getting heavier as well. So they're all on the inters. It's a bit of a disaster from Corey, Andy, Joker. He was up to 2nd, and now he's at the back of the field. Oh, he's disconnected, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's disconnected. Unfortunately, the McLaren.
That's a shame. How's the race been?
It's been a lot of action, a good few incidents, definitely to start with a desync issue, but other than that, it's been alright. Definitely a good amount of late braking incidents, though, as it definitely looks visibly heavier as well, as King MJ is coming to the pits. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Joker's AI's put on wet, so now King MJJ, Jamie's put on some wets as well, so he's probably, knowing him, he's probably noticed that Joker's ghosting around as an AI, and he's probably copying him, so it'll be interesting to see his delta times compared to the rest of the field now, so he's comfortably in the points, but we can see what sort of times he can beast out now. Will he bottle it?
Who knows? It's Jamie. The probability of him bottling it is very high, but it's also a very high chance that he might not bottle it.
Nah, I know.
But definitely one who has bottled it is Ginger Andy, without a doubt, bottling this entire Grand Prix. He's late braked into the wall twice. Just missing his braking point. in the same corner as well.
And just watching on board, I think he'll now have the strategy of let's just finish and see who can DNF in front of him, because we saw in ILR1 there's only 9 finishes, so he's probably thinking stay out, do the laps, and maybe try and get home a couple of points if he can. But staying out in those intermediates, I mean, I don't know what the forecast is for the rest of the race.
Yeah, most likely will be wet for the rest of the race. It'll be a very long time till we've actually finished this race. But
settle in.
Settle in, get a cup of cocoa, and just sit down and relax as Leo Blade comes into the pits, presumably for the wet tyres as well. But I think the biggest bottle, actually, just looking at the standings, is Nicolo, who came in to fix his front wing, went onto the wets as a joke and retired. For all we know, he could have been on the ultimate strategy and messed it up entirely.
Maybe he went a bit too soon, yeah. He was in a couple of times, wasn't he, for wing damage, but I was going to say, looking at the field, there's a few drivers coming towards the business end of the season now that we were looking to prove themselves to keep the ILR2 seat. The likes of, I've spoken to Nicolo and a couple of other drivers, maybe I won't mention them, but obviously they're going to have to start getting a few more points, because it's been a good few races now that they've just DNF, have been nowhere near it, been off the boil, so hopefully they'll give them a kick up their arse the next 5 races and prove me wrong, keep their seats. But as you know, Brandon, ILR3 is rapid, you know, there's a few guys in there that could easily do a job in ILR1, I think, let alone ILR2, so it'd be interesting to see.
Indeed, it'd be interesting to see what happens on the race day of Race of Champions, on who will be revealed to be ILR1, ILR2, ILR3, and the possibility of even a 4th division, for all we know, with the amount of drivers interested at the moment.
Play with the idea, but it's just trying to work out the logistics of it at the moment, and I just want to make sure we've got the right numbers and also the right drivers, because it's one thing setting up a tier, but you've got to make sure are you going to have the cleanliness and the experience. There's some experience, and will they stick around? Because at the start of the season, the ILR1 we had lost about 6-7 drivers in the first like 7 races, but it settles down after that. I think once people get into the groove of the game. But Ginger Andy's still staying out of his inters. It's soaking now. Oh, it's great. Sorry. I've got to say. I've got to say, I'm shocked. Leo Blade, 4th. What's going on? He is the only driver in ILR this season. ILR, full stop, everyone, all the drivers not to score a point in any tier, any race, in any league.
Oof. Well, he definitely seems to show himself here in Singapore at the moment. He wants them points because he's definitely been in the contention for the win.
Oh, definitely. He's on the wets now. He's pitted as well, so he must be the net leader technically.
12 seconds ahead of his rival Flexi, and he's only 22 seconds behind Matt. So
that's correct, yeah.
The fact that he's that close and he's gaining on them wets as well. He is gaining on Luke ahead of him. I'm
just watching the Delta times. I think Jamie and Leo Blade, they're switching them on, and he's got the right temperatures for them now as well. Right now, water on track. But yeah, he's taking a bit of time out. I think it's the crossover period now.
Indeed.
The wet's slightly edging it. But 23 seconds. What is it for a pit stop here? Is it about 25? I'm not sure.
It's 37 miles per hour into the pits, and depending. Slide McGee for George. Imagine to keep that car under control. That was a save and a half. Managed to keep out of the wall as he's about to go side by side with Scott now into turn 5. Scott going down the inside, managing to make the move at the moment on George. But George is going to try and fight back round the outside. Goes to Williams, but he's been edged out by the Ferrari. And it looks to be set that Scott has managed to claim 6th position off the Williams at the moment. Though he could easily come back. He's been kind of blocked off towards the wall, going into the Singapore, what used to be the Singapore Sling now. But he's definitely been held. He's been held back by the moment from the Ferrari, and that Williams will be gutted to lose that position after a fantastic stave.
It was.
Oh,
he's hit it.
And that's the wall.
George has clipped the barrier at the outside the Anderson Bridge, and he's lost no position. I'll tell you what, it is slippy around there. But I've got to say, before that, it was great driving between the two, keeping it in the lines, clean racing. But George will be disappointed. Is that wing damage?
That is wing damage. The left side gone.
But he'll need to pit anyway onto wet, so he'll probably try that now. But at this point for George,
he was definitely teasing with fate after that first save.
Oh yeah, matter of time as he got. Oh yeah, God, yeah, that wing's gone. Oh, oh.
Lighting up them rears like fireworks.
Yeah, just watching the delta times. I think Leo Blade, he's averaging about a second quicker on the moment of these wets compared to the intermediates. He's looking great. I mean, it'd be great for him to get his first point to be a win. That'd be fantastic. He's I mean, this Leo Blade last season, 2016, he was one of the quickest drivers in the game. He won multiple titles in the top tiers of various leagues. But like he's speaking to me, and he's gone to no assist now, so he's completely no assist, and he's just asked for a demotion, just to try and find his feet more in ILR2 compared to the sweatiness of ILR1, obviously. So I gave him the opportunity because he wasn't having much fun. So I'm glad to see now he's finally find his feet in this tier. It's good to see as well. I mean, good to see if he gets a win. Fair play. The driver who's not scored any points all season. He'll take, this is a welcome timing for him. But like you said, it's a long race. 22 laps, 23 laps left. No, sorry, I can't count. 12 laps.
I've also just realised, I've just got on board with Leo Blade, he also has damage.
Does he?
Yeah, half of his right front is gone. At least from my onboard it is.
I'm trying to see, the camera's not correct. How do you... It seems okay for me. Was it the Zen plates? No, they seem fine, they seem intact for me.
It might just be a glitch then for me. But
I'm getting a few glitches, a few of the tie glitches as well.
But he's, from my onboard anyway, he's only got the few bits at the end of the wing, like the middle part's gone.
Battle for 6, Scott and Carl.
Ooh. Definitely key to get the other. We'll go on board with the other half of Carl now.
No, hopefully it'll be a Hasta class from Carl.
Oh, that's Carl, Ginger Andy.
Ginger Andy there using his experience to get out of the way. He'll just be doing the laps now, going through the motions, trying to pick up some points if there's more DNFs. Same for Corey as well. Good to see those lads staying out there. Carl's getting a good run of Scott here.
Indeed he is. He's going to try and... He looks for a possible move down into turn 1, but goes against it. But I am surprised that not more people are on the wets. Surely Flexi by now, looking at that gap widen between him and Leo Blade, surely must have decided to go on the wets by now.
There's not much. I mean, I'm watching Jamie's time, and it's about even to what Matt is. I know Jamie's not as quick as Matt, and like Leo Blade, he's adding to his time a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's drastic. He's a second and a half in 2 laps, so it's not setting the world alight in these times. So maybe if it stays like this, I think do they need to pit at all? Which, from Matt's point of view, I mean, maybe Leo Blade will start catching Luke further down the line. I can see that, but probably needs to remain a little bit more heavier for the wets to really come into play. Carl's looking for a move on Scott.
Ooh, he thinks about it, but that Ferrari sliding has definitely put him off a possible move there.
Yeah, good clean driving here though. You can see these boys racing. Ooh, he's getting very close there, just after the Anderson Bridge. Scott gets a good exit from there, and I don't know where Carl's going to line up a move, probably in the first corner, or the back DRS straight, I don't know. What would you say is the best place to overtake, Brandon? Would you say it's turn 1, or would you say it's the second DRS zone?
Probably the second DRS zone. Either the last... If you can get a better exit off the last corner, I would try and make a move there. Go in a bit of a lower gear, kind of drag that car's rev limiter to the max, and drift that car around and get probably the best exit you can, and then try and make a move down to turn 1, or bide your time, wait until turn 4, try and late break and move either down the inside or the outside, and definitely get the grip off there. Would seem to be a good moment, good position to gain as much time as you can. But that DRS straight, without DRS assistance, is very difficult unless you have a lot lower wings. And as most people probably here have got probably a higher wing setup because of the wet conditions coming in. Without a doubt, trying to beat someone in a drag race on a straight line when people could have so much rich mix definitely could prove costly. as a lot of the wet drivers have coming in now for Inters. The Inter drivers.
I wasn't gonna interrupt you there, but I noticed Leo Blade the last last lap has dropped 2-3 seconds off the leaders. Jamie's lost 3 seconds as well. It seems to be like the rain stopped quite a bit to what it was before, but it obviously is still coming down. Maybe it was a wrong strategy call from Gene Haas there on the pit wall. Went for the gamble, and looks like it's backfired a bit, and he could be sitting quite far down the field now, Leo Blade. If he hits, he could put maybe in this battle with 4, 6 and Cole. He's got 20 odd seconds behind, so we'll see. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I think so. Looking at it, obviously, when very close between the Haas and the Ferrari going into that corner. Just quick before they start trying to go into each other again, the people who stayed on the Inters, which I thought was a bit bizarre, seeing as the wet runners were faster, they obviously saw the weather forecast beforehand. So obviously they must have just stayed out on Inters knowing that it was going to lighten up again, and so they've obviously proved me wrong in that strategy decision. As Leo Blade has come into the pits, he's definitely going to come out behind Carl and Scott. Yeah, he's just finished his... Oh, actually, he might battle him out as he comes out the pits, maybe.
I did call it be close. I think they will beat him, but Leo Blade will be on the fresher tyres, and probably has a little bit more pace than these two. So this could be a saucy little battle in a few laps. As Leo Blade has a 5 second stop go.
Must have just slid out of the white line, just barely, because definitely on the strict corner cutting and strict ruling, that could have just been a slight touch over. When the car behind him is 55 seconds behind, that seems a tad bit harsh on the Haas sliding out. But I guess rules are rules, and unfortunately that's going to hinder him.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you film what happened with the other drivers of DNF, like the EFC Matthew, Ritson, Billy?
EFC Matthew went into the wall, if I remember correctly, went into the wall, I think just after, it might have been just before the Singapore Sling.
Okay.
Just late brake into the wall and out. Ritson just retired his car, had a broken front wing, just went. Billy lost it under the Anderson Bridge, and Nicolo just retired himself, and the Mata, I do believe, retired himself as well. If I remember correctly, might have span into a wall.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So not a great returning race debut, second debut for Ritson. Seems a bit off the boil, so hopefully I think he'll be using the rest of the season more of a feeler back into F1, maybe go again next season. Pick up the pace, because he was quick in the last game. He was a bit of a sweaty nonce in the last game, so he was in ILR1, was meant to go there, but university and studies and stuff, he had to take a back seat with the F1, which is fair enough. Scott and Carl look very matched for pace, don't they?
Indeed, and Carl getting that 3-second time penalty. He's definitely going to have to think about making a move. He's going to get a bit worrisome. That 3-second time penalty, if he doesn't make a move on Scott, could just cost him this battle for 5th. So you hopefully try and make a move past the Ferrari, as he's definitely losing all his braking points at the moment. Try and hopefully get past that Ferrari as soon as possible. To make back on his mistakes, his penalties, try and get that gap up to 3 seconds plus, just so you can try and solidify that 5th place without a doubt. But with that 3-second time penalty, his battle for 5th may all but be over.
I'm trying to look through the penalties. Leo Blade has got 3, Billy's 3. Just have a look at drivers who are still going. Paul's got 3. Is Paul still on the race?
Yes, he's in 11.
Much Paul. Wumei 3 seconds, George 6 seconds, Jamie 3 seconds, Scott 3 seconds, Luke 3 seconds, Scott another 3 seconds, Wumei 3, Leo Blade 6. Okay, so Leo Blade and Scott both have 6 seconds, Carl has 3 seconds. So that's interesting as it stands. I just wanted to see what the state of play was with penalties, because I'm obviously just catching up now. But, yeah, so as it stands, Carl would have net 5th position based on penalties.
He's seeming to fall back though off that Ferrari. he's kind of making a bit more errors after that penalty. Maybe I don't think he realises that Scott has penalties, and he's kind of losing.
Maybe not. Yeah.
He's losing himself to the worry and to the anxiety that he could easily have lost his battle as he's just sliding in that last sector. He's coming into the pits. He's going very slow into the pits.
Going to the pits. Oh dear. I wonder what that's about. Sure the Inters would last the whole rest of the race.
Most likely would last the whole race, but
yeah.
I think he might be thinking he hasn't got the grip, and he's going on another set of Inters.
He is, so I don't know if he's not changing his wing. So maybe just want a fresh set. I mean, maybe he's had a look at the gaps and he's thinking what's the worst can happen, but I mean, he's just literally lost the chance of fifth position now, and he's going to have someone like George and Jamie in 8th and 9th, maybe closing in on him, but I don't know what that was. It's a bit of a shame that. I mean, there was no. I don't know. The worst that could have happened if Leo Blade took him and he still finished, 7th. But now he's got George over the back of him. I don't know. George is obviously quite quick. He's quite a quick driver when he can hook it up, but he is quite error prone. And you see the rear end there sliding from the Williams, but unusual one. Maybe his tyres were gone. Maybe he just lined up the rear end quite a lot. Interesting to see if any of the other drivers do it as well, the same issues, but I don't know.
Just gone on board with Wame as he was catching up to Jamie, and has he got broken left front for you as well? That isn't just me this time.
What, Wame?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I'll try and kind of it's front left.
Okay, so this time it wasn't a graphical
glitch.
Yeah.
His left. Yeah, his left wing has got a bit of damage. I think probably like yellow or light damage, nothing too serious. But I think Wome's got 6 seconds of penalties. Jamie's got 3 seconds.
He'll want to.
He'll want to get past.
So. Jamie's not the fastest, but he can definitely block you if he wants.
He's probably too fair though. Like, I think he's going to let him go here. Is he not? Do you know what I mean? I think that Jamie needs a little bit more bite about him to be a bit, to make him really. He's a good driver, and he needs to. This game hasn't suited him as well as the last game, but he needs a bit more bite about him. I think he's too friendly letting cars pass, or he doesn't put elbows out as much as some of the other drivers would do. But not taking anything away from him. He's holding up Wilmay quite well here. Big of single file through that little tunnel into the grandstand. Obviously 6 seconds worth of penalties, Wilmay, so he's going to want to have to make this move quick. For Jamie, it's a good case to try and keep him behind with as many laps as possible, but he's on the gearbox in sector 3, so we'll see. Jamie takes a weird line through there. He doesn't have to get wide, he cuts back. Okay, that was, he's trying to break the slipstream there, I'll give him that. Down the back straight.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Paul McGuinness. Disaster. Vijay Mallya.
Oh dear.
Paul's going to be on the team radio saying, VJ, get that curry heated up. I'll be back in the pits in no time now.
I don't think that's the first time he's made a mistake at that corner either.
He's sliding everywhere.
Wame side by side with Jamie going towards the second sector. Just not being able to make the move, and he's just staying behind that Toro Rosso again. I think Jamie knows he's not the fastest driver on the grid, and I think that's why he's so fair when it comes to battling, is that he doesn't want to... He knows he could probably keep that position, but he doesn't want to hinder other people's races too much, and that fairness is costing him in the points.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'll think, let's just say Callum or, Flexi, you're quicker than me, just make this move, he'll make it easy for them to make it. But I mean, I don't know, at this point, I think he can keep him off him. If he can just do a few more laps. I don't know if Wome's got an answer to him at the moment. The laps keep ticking down, obviously the chance to then, once overtake him, then get the 3-second gap. It's slipping away. But we'll wait and see. Defending from Jamie as George is also closing in on call. EFC Matthews left the session.
It's taken him so long since he retired. I'm watching.
Can't take his eyes off it. And Leo Blade and Scott. Oh, there's a few battles out on field. It's great to see late on. Leo Blade, they're trying to all in the game up to Scott and going into sector 2 now. The tight right to left-handers before the Singapore sling. Ooh.
Sorry to break your yep, I was about to break your interest off that as he goes straight down the inside. Oh, and taps to Toro Rosso, keep it out of the wall. Slight tap of the rear into the wall, but he's managed to keep the car. I didn't think he had to worry too much about losing a position. Paul was on the softs, over a minute and a half behind. Yeah, Paul was
that's a shame.
up.
It's the tiniest of taps there. I mean, nothing on Jamie's fault there. That was just one of those things, the way the cars shift their weight, the body away from
Leo
the body
Blade
to the corners.
Deep in the corner where Ginger Andy has made several mistakes, but he's been able to keep the position off Scott as he made a move. As we were watching Wame spin, he's made the move on Scott. That's disappointing. We could have witnessed an overtake and a half, sliding underneath the bridge. But he's managed to keep it in front of that Ferrari for now. But he's definitely going to have to try and escape with the 5-second stop go he has. Sector 3, there is a yellow flag, and it's a spinning Paul McGuinness. At the exact same corner he spun beforehand on another set of tyres.
Which I'm surprised Paul's given up. Sad to see. Not a great day for the Force India drivers. They did offer a lot of promise. I was fancying Corey for a quiet podium here, but not to be. As the disappointing form does continue.
Disconnection early on for him led to...
Oh, was there?
It was first lap desync, then got disconnected, came back, disconnected again, and he's left from there. Disappointing for him.
There's quite a few desync issues, like the ILR1, there's a few lag spikes as well now this race today. I mean, the hosts we have, they're like got really good internet, so we know it's peer-to-peer hosting, so I don't really know what else I can do. Yeah. Get Lee Mabel, get him in a headlock and tell him to get some servers on the go.
You get him in a headlock, he'll do nothing. You need to storm the offices of Codemasters.
Sorry, Brandon. Jamie's backed off and he's obviously got Wume all over him again. So
I think Jamie thought, oh, he goes around the outside turn 1. I think Jamie just let him through there. I think Jamie feels he was at fault for the collision earlier on, and he's just
he really wasn't though.
He's kind of just giving him the position.
Yeah.
Jamie's fairness could bite back and lose him a point, but I guess Jamie doesn't care about how many points he gets this season. I think he's just in it to get some laughs out of it.
Yeah, I think Jamie's penciled in ILR3 next season, put it that way, so he's all set for that. I think he's come to me and he's asked about it as well, and I think I suggested it to him as well, because I don't think ILR2 is the place for him next year. I think that especially some of the ILR3 boys coming up, it's going to be very sway, very quick as well. He doesn't play the game as much as he used to, so...
I don't think anyone really plays this game as much as they used to anymore. The server's going down and just being absolute trash. Career mode, got repetitive, and no patches as well. Like you're about to say, oh, tangle between the Renault and the Toro Rosso at the end of Anderson Bridge.
He got the exit all wrong there out of Anderson Bridge. I'm really deep, and Jamie's now all over the back of him again. But yeah, as I was saying, if he runs wide there again, or as Evil would say, worm. What was I saying? Oh! Wome's gone wide and Jamie's through.
Guys, can you stop battling and making mistakes, please? We want to hear Jack send comment.
I don't know what that was about then. Did Wome just run wide over the curb and then let Jamie through, or must have been that? It looked like driver error more than anything. But as I was saying, it's just a shame that the Codemasters haven't yet patched some of the issues on online multiplayer, especially safety car. Just frame rate drops quite a lot as well. Just some of the basic things. I mean, well, shame. I think they're concentrating on the next game, but I mean, there's still 6 months left of this game's cycle. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like it's what. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why they can't get a group of devs just to have a look at it.
I hope that Codemasters and Lead Mathers see the tweets and what their top racers have said. Oh, that's Paul. Oh, that's a save. That was a save in the background.
That was a good save for Paul McGuinness. Ironbrew's gone to his head. He's on the sauces. Woman's going to make a dive there on Jamie. always getting feisty now. This could be a saucy little battle at the end of the race. It seems to be the only battle on track, to be honest. George is 1.8 off Carl, and Woolman's going to make a move now. Jamie, I want to go side by side now, down the back straight towards the Anderson Bridge. This is a Singapore sling, yeah. What was a Singapore sling? As Woolman's pushing Jamie out to try. I wonder if they're in a party chat, because it looks very, very coordinated. Romy then makes the move through the Anderson Bridge, and Jamie's going to go for the dive bomb here.
Oh, he's tapped.
And there's contact. There's a Red Bull kid on it. Who's that?
It's Matt. He's lapping him.
That's the leader. Oh no, it's the leader. Matt Tibbles, yeah, it's the leader.
Well, don't rob us of an extra lap of a battle. Come on.
He's robbed us of a battle, and this is...
Oh, they're going to try to fight back!
We can't fight back over the leader. Let him go, lads. Oh, Matt, let them fight for 2 more laps.
We want to...
We want a battle. We want a battle, but no, he's not having it. So...
Oh, come on.
If Matt
back off. Matt, back off. Matt, back off. He's not backing off. He can't hear me.
I think Jamie's not going to be as feisty now, because he won't want Matt to lose the race win here, but it's a bit of a shame.
I think Tom's going to throw caution out the wind. Is he? No. But he's keeping pace with him, even with that broken front wing. So whether or not...
It's a shame that.
He had the pace. He could have had the pace if he didn't get in so many incidents. Didn't get in a battle with Jamie. He could have been challenging. But I think an early incident early on has cost him, as Paul goes into their ultra softs.
As VJ Malia turns around with a key Manon in his hands, wondering what the hell's going on. But Paul McGuinness out in the ultra softs, matching the lovely pink Force India. Still in 11th, so I don't know what the Joker, Ginger Andy and Corey are doing, but here we are. I mean, to be fair to Paul, if in one of the top 10 drivers DNF, he will have points. So we all need to judge. As looks like Tom Woolmay is pulled away now from Jamie, and that looks like it's done and dusted.
The only issue is if sorry, but because I just had thoughts over Paul, he's been lapped by both Woolmay and Jamie. So, unless they retire now, Paul ain't getting back into them points.
There's a yellow flag in sector 1. I'm trying to work out what it is.
I can't find it.
Sector 2, Paul McGuinness. Is it?
Oh, okay. I think he's just given up. Yeah, no, I don't think he broke.
No, I don't think so. I think his head's gone. Get back,
oh, yeah, no, I've just watched on the stream him. He was already going into that corner. I think he's just gone straight. He must have gone straight. But he looked on it. He weaved at the end. And I think he must have just lost the car. And he's gone.
Jamie's pitting.
I think he wants... he knows he's got 10th. He could crash for all he cares. And he's got 10th.
Yeah, it's a shame. It would have been nice to see that battle unfold. Obviously, Matt showed his face. Can I just say though, who would you be driver of your day? Because I've just noticed someone's in P3.
Luke, end of. You didn't even have to say anything. I would have said Luke or Sam. Sam getting 15 positions of his start. But we got to remember. We have got to remember Luke getting his first podium in Spain from a dry to wet race. I believe.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
And to... Oh, check me.
Nice.
It just goes on the ultra softs and just spins it as soon as he comes out the pits.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's me's up 10 positions, Matt's up 6, Luke's up 8, Flex is up 15, Carl's up 7, George is up 9. I mean, Jamie's up 8. I mean, I think disaster classes have to probably go to the Matt, Billy, losing out 15, 16 positions. It's a bit of a shame. Probably more
disaster class could easily be Leo Blades as well. He was in for the win, goes into the wets and ruins it.
No, I mean, I think he'll look back and think what could have been, but he'll at the end of the day 10 points. I think he'll be delighted to get his first points off the season. The last driver to get points out of the season, so fair play. Yeah, I think driver of the day. I think we can give it to Luke. Can I just say it looks a lot drier now?
Yeah, the rain has stopped.
Yeah, I'd say Luke driver of the day, closely followed by Flexi. But there we have it. The marathon is the Singapore Grand Prix. Looks like it's coming to an end.
Go on board with Flexi, and he's slid underneath the Anderson Bridge into the wall, but he's came out with a bit of damage. But this last lap, he couldn't care less anymore. He's got that 4th position. As drivers finishing up, the Red Bull has won the Singapore Grand Prix. It's me coming in second. The Red Bull 1-2 in Singapore. Great result for them. Luke is sliding around that last corner, celebrating his 2nd podium in ILR2, coming around in 3rd.
Well done, Luke.
From scoring no points in ILR1 last season until the 9th round, to getting 2 podiums this season on ILR2. You got to give it to him as DRS becomes enabled. Definitely dry enough now for the dries. But yeah,
the fireworks lighting up the sky.
The fireworks have dried the track off, definitely, without a doubt. And dry that track off. Leo Blade sliding around that final corner, Stetting in to 5th place. The Ferrari of Scott in 6th, finishing where he started. That Ferrari's had a bog standard race.
He'll be pleased with that. He's not had the greatest seasons, but the last few races really upped his game. But also great shout out to the Red Bull drivers getting a 1-2 as well. I think they've got their constructors signed, sealed, delivered now. After another disaster pass from Tom Woolney. I think the only real title contenders for that were Renault to take the fight to Red Bull, but I think now number 43 points. It's safe to say that those constructor trophies are getting sent on the way to Matt and Callum.
Well, that has been your Singapore Grand Prix. Julian Palmer finishes in 9th, apparently, according to the finished results. But your top 3 for today's race: Matt, It's Me, and Lukey Luke getting his 2nd podium of the season. It's Red Bull 1-2, Sauber 3rd. Great points for the Sauber team. They can finally buy more chairs for the team. Definitely worth celebrating by all 3 of them onto that podium, without a doubt. The champagne going everywhere, the crowd going wild, the Red Bull mechanics in full joyous behaviours. There's another Red Bull 1-2 in ILR2. And like Jack said, without a doubt, most likely getting that title for the constructors underway. Fastest lap, I do believe, goes to Julian Palmer. It does. It goes to Julian Palmer with a 1:43.511. Julian Palmer, fastest driver in the world, showing that talent. Got to give it to him. But that has been your Singapore Grand Prix round 14 for ILR2. We will catch you next week for the Malaysian Grand Prix in ILR2, where we hope that a monsoon happens just so we can have some sliding action all around in Malaysia. We will catch you again. It's been Nazan, it's been Jack, and it also has been a cameo of Evil as well earlier on.
I love a bit of Evil.
And we'll see you next time. Catch you later.